Welcome to Dollars and Cents with Freedman Financial, the home for financial advice in a language you can understand. Created by Marc Freedman of Freedman Financial, he and his team of certified financial planner professionals will discuss timely topics that help individuals and families make smart financial decisions. And now, get ready for this week's edition of Dollars and Cents with Freedman Financial.
Welcome back to another edition of Dollars and Cents with Freedman Financial. My name is Marc Freedman.
And I'm Marion Gilman.
And we're here to provide you with some financial advice in a language you can understand. Well, we've got an interesting switch up today for our story. We're going to not necessarily talk about markets or the economy.
We're going to talk about Marc's car.
No, we're going to talk about technology a little bit. And some of the revelations that Marion had when she sat in my new car.
Yes. It was, and you know, a truly astounding experience, I will say.
What? So
do you?
You know,
was it astounding for you when you first got the car?
It was astounding for me as well. So let me give you a little background here. So I've been driving an electric car for about 6 or 7 years now. I started with a Tesla a long time ago.
Yeah.
Then I switched up to the Mercedes electric car, and then I was just in the market. I said, you know, my Mercedes was giving me a little bit of a challenge. The battery anxiety, all that kind of stuff that went along with it was not being well managed at Mercedes. So I decided to take a look back at the Tesla because I heard that I could get up to 400 miles on a charge on the Tesla Model S car, which is the larger sedan.
And that's a good amount of mileage.
400
for you,
miles,
right?
yeah.
For an electric car, I should say.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the beauty of the Tesla is that there are so many Tesla superchargers, you can kind of go anywhere and feel that you can drive anywhere you want in this country and continue to stay charged and not have that anxiety of, will I find a charger to charge my electric car?
Yes.
But one of the features that came with the Model S that was included, you pay for it, was the self-driving feature. And yeah, it was quite the experience to see what self-driving was all about. And so, Marion, you got to see this, right?
Yeah, so we got in the car one day, and Marc said, oh, I'm going to put on the self-driving feature. Well, I think, so it's driver assist, right? Because there has to be a driver in the driver's seat.
Yeah, it's called something like fully enabled driving supervised.
Right.
So it does drive.
But in any event.
So just to be sure, though, just to set this up, is that I do not need to put my foot on the gas or the brake ever. I can keep my hands back here the whole time. The only thing I have to make sure I'm doing on a regular basis is keeping my eyes moving like this.
So you have to look at the road.
Right.
Right? Other than that, the car just goes, which is amazing as you sit there and you think about what is happening. So we didn't go far, but
we got into a parked car, right? We were in a parking space.
We got into a parked car. We put in a destination. Marc put in a destination.
We were going to Legal Seafood for lunch, right?
Yes.
At the mall, across the street.
He turned on self-driving feature, and that was it. The car backs out, drives over to Legal, like navigates getting out onto the road, navigates going through the parking lot, into the shopping center parking lot, backs into a parking space. Had to look for a space because there wasn't one, right there at Legal. Drove around, looked for a space, backed into that parking space, and there we were. And Marc did nothing the whole time.
No, and the car was perfectly parked.
We opened the car door. That was it.
Right, and basically, you don't put the car into park. You open the car door, and the car shuts down.
It
That's
was truly astounding. And I have to say, for me, I looked at that and thought, what a great solution, and this will continue to evolve, but what a great solution for people who are, they haven't lost their ability to drive. However, they might not be the best drivers. I think the car drove better than I do.
Absolutely.
On my own.
We all agree that
it's more consistent.
Yeah, you don't start weaving or in the lines. You
No.
don't know whether am I too close to the side of the road? Am I too close to the middle of the road? it stays in the middle.
And you know what? Right now, as I drive down my street every morning, there are these enormous snow piles at the end of my street. So I can't, I have a sedan, so it has that front piece of it, right? I can't actually see. I have to pull out onto the road to see. Well, the Tesla, those sensors are right in the front of the car,
Right.
correct? So because it pulled out from the driveway at our office, and it can see a lot better than you can what's coming in either direction.
Yeah, it's really, really remarkable.
It's amazing.
And so the reason we're sharing this story with you is that, look, technology has evolved. We've heard about artificial intelligence. We've heard about robotics. We've heard about all sorts of things. And as much as it scares us all, and it is a little intimidating. Look, when I got in that car for the first time, when I took the car out for a test drive, it was the Christmas week. And I was at the Tesla dealership, and the guy says, oh, just try the self-driving thing. He put in the post office. The post office is on the other side of the North Shore Mall.
Well, so the Tesla dealership is at
the North Shore Mall
as well.
So, you got cars flying all different directions. It's the
Everywhere.
busiest time in the parking lot. And I'm sitting
Amazing.
in the car with Laura.
Yeah.
And as tempted as I wanted to be just to grab the wheel, to step on the gas, to do this, I said, all right, I'm going to do what he said. I'm going to keep my hands on my lap, and I'm just going to sit. And the Tesla figured out a way to maneuver itself out, joined the traffic pattern, drove through all of the different traffic challenges where people are crossing the street, cars are crossing in front of us. There's shoppers, there's all sorts of things that are happening. Goes to the post office, notices a parking space, and backs in. I was blown away. And
well, last year we were in San Francisco, and they have Waymos.
Right.
So you can call a Waymo, and the Waymos are self-driving cars. They're like an Uber or any kind of, Lyft, whatever. And you call one of them, and it drives you wherever you want to go. And we're watching them. They're funny looking because they have these things
they got
on the
all
top.
these different
They've got all
gizmos
these
and
different-
gadgets
yes,
there, right?
Exactly. It looks like a futuristic car. Anyways, I was fascinated by it. But to sit in the car and actually it drive for you and watch it, it's just amazing.
Now, there's a passenger. There's a driver sitting behind the wheel.
Yes.
So if there is a challenge, of course, you can intuitively get yourself in and out of the situation that you're in. But look, we've just had a tremendous amount of snow here, like you said, here in Massachusetts. And what amazes me is how the Tesla is smart enough to recognize that if it was driving up a road that's not wide enough for you and the car that's coming at you to get through, it would either pull over as best it could or starts backing up and getting out of the way so another car can do this. It's like, are you kidding me? They see a person standing at the crosswalk. The car stops, lets the passenger go. You see an emergency vehicle coming your way or coming behind you, it automatically pulls over. It is a bus stop, the flashing lights when, school bus is there, right? It stops. All of those rules that you're supposed to follow, it stops at every stop sign. There's going to be less accidents. I know this is hard to believe. There's going to be less accidents because of these self-driving cars than, frankly, human error.
So I will tell you, last week I heard this story about a self-driving car that was hit by a person driving a Tesla. So not using the self-driving feature.
Yeah.
But
But
amazing.
so we look at this as, as our clients age, as people age. We want our independence. We want to be able to get out and about and do things. But we don't want to be reliant all the time on the kids. It used to be, as we would talk to people years ago, people would say, well, I guess I'll have to call a taxi. And we were introducing them to the Uber app or to the Lyft app, and you can do that. And frankly, as much as people were disinclined to use Uber and use a taxi, I will tell you, Uber is a heck of a lot safer. It's more trackable. Anybody can follow where you're going. Taxi, you don't know who you're getting in the car with. You don't know how to, if you left your belongings in a taxi,
how do you contact
you're not going to find that taxi. You're not going to remember what number taxi cab you had. But the opportunity for you to have to not rely on anybody and just sit in your car comfortably and type in the doctor's office, take me to the doctor's office.
and the car is always there.
Right.
And, I looked at this again, and I just extrapolated because I think about it, and I've always thought that as we moved along over the years, that there would be more options and better options as we age to have some of these resources that we're not simply reliant on other people. And so, because now, it's very difficult to get people to work in nursing homes, to get people to come into your house, all of this. So, I look at the driver or the self-driving feature of the car as just being the first step and a reason that you don't have to give up your independence completely. You can still have it. But of course, that requires money.
Absolutely.
And that's the bottom line.
And when you say that, it reminds me of the meeting that we had once with Joe Coughlin, who heads up the Age Lab in MIT.
Fascinating.
And of all of these technological advances, whether it's medical, whether it's technology, whether it's artificial intelligence, whatever it is, items to make your life easier, simpler, more efficient, all of those things, they all require money. And these newfangled products are not going to come subsidized by the government.
No,
if you have resources, you're going to be able to pay for these services.
Right.
Yeah, a Tesla is not cheap. However, we just learned this morning. So I bought a Tesla Model S, which is the larger sedan. And then they also have the Tesla X, which is the one with the wings that kind of open up on the side. We just learned today that Elon Musk has announced that they're discontinuing, or they're honorably retiring, I think what the word that he used, the S and the X, because it only represents about 5% of their total car sales. 95% of their total car sales come from the Model 3 and the Model Y, which are priced at somewhere between $35,000 and $50,000 new. The X and the S are almost twice that price. Right. But what they're going to do with the facilities, the manufacturing facilities in Fremont, California, yes, they're going to start making cars, but they're going to start making the humanoids, the robots. He's planning to make 1 million of them in the next year and a half.
Think about that. He's,
Rosie from the Jetsons is coming to your house.
Right. Whether you like Elon Musk or not, he has been quite successful with getting the self-driving feature on Teslas. And I have to say, it's remarkable. So let's see what's next. It is really exciting.
Yeah, but
when you think of what technology is going to do.
Yeah, so many people get scared of it. Look, there's many people, perhaps you're watching this show and you're thinking, I still don't do online banking. And I think to myself, I said, well, I'm sorry you haven't engaged in that, because
it's so easy.
But the thing is sorry, folks, checks are going away.
Yes.
They are going away faster than you could imagine. Ask any child or any 20-something-year-old where their checkbook is, and they'll go, what? What is that?
Actually, a client asked how their child could add money to an account every month. And I said, well, they can just send us a check, because we can't link an investment account to somebody else's bank account. It can only be to the owners. And so they looked at me and said, well, I'm sure they don't have checks on that account. They don't even have the checks. Never mind, know how to write a check and mail it. So.
Right. But there's all different ways to make contributions, to pay bills electronically.
Exactly.
That's what's happening. Look, I was in Europe. It's got to be 15, 18 years ago. Look, I've been to Europe many times since then. But I was at a friend's house in Belgium, and she had a plumber come to the house. And the plumber handed them the invoice, and I thought she would write them a check. And what he did was, not only did he hand her the invoice, he showed his phone that had a QR code on it. She snapped the QR code, it attached up to her bank account, whatever it was. She typed in the amount, boom, he got paid, just like that.
Amazing.
The checks just aren't happening anymore.
Right. And Europe was way ahead of us.
Absolutely way ahead.
Yeah, because they started tapping credit cards or whatever, debit cards.
Right, that little chip.
Right away. We were still inserting or
the magnetic strip.
Right.
They didn't know what magnetic strip was 15 years ago.
And they paid for everything using that.
Yeah.
$2 was was and the stores preferred that method.
Yeah, well,
electronic.
we sit and oftentimes make fun, and I know I do it a lot, make fun of the younger generation for how much they pay for conveniences. All of these convenient
Sure.
fees, whether it's DoorDash or buying tickets through secondhand, StubHub, or just avoiding getting things done by you going to the place, paying for delivery services, paying for all these different services. And there's an element of paying for convenience, paying for efficiency that needs to work for everybody. Now look, as much as I've made fun of the kids that pay for DoorDash, look, I can't find anybody over the age of 50 who has used DoorDash. Under age 50, a lot of people use them, but over age 50.
Well, you know what? The snow might incentivize people to do that.
You're absolutely, Marion. You're absolutely right. It might. But I want you to think about this. Think about COVID. And I went into a school and I asked the kids, how many of you stood in line about a half a mile long, sat in line in your car, waiting to save 10 cents a gallon at Costco? Because remember, gas prices were super high. And remember all the people that would sit and wait so that they could go to Costco and get their discount.
Gas. We weren't going
I know, but the thing is if you're older, you figured, where am I going anyways? I can just sit here. But think of the amount of gas you wasted just idling in your car. There's no kid that did that, but they will think about going to any ATM to get cash, $20, and they pay $4 to get $20 for a convenience fee. Makes no sense. Look, we're all illogical. We all spend
in many ways
stupid money on stupid things, but it makes us feel good. I just think there's going to be a mind shift at some point where we start to accept things as a little bit more normalized. And like you said, this driving or driver-assisted car, whatever we want to call it at this point, this is a way into the future that allows the baby boomer generation who no longer have the kids around, or they're on their own, or they need to do something quickly, or perhaps they need to get to the doctor's office or want to pick up their dry cleaning. I don't care, whatever it is. And you don't have to worry about it because you say, I don't like to drive at night. I can't see all that well. Or I just had a procedure done and this eye's a little bit blurry, or whatever it is. But look, we all know that as we age, our reaction times will change as well. We saw that at the Age Lab too.
Absolutely.
And just going from gas to brake or just reacting, the car is smarter than us and it's awake all the time.
Right.
Not us going in and out and getting engaged in a conversation or singing a song in the car, or we're looking around at the scenery and we don't see what's going on.
That's
the car is always alert.
It is so true. And as I said, just under normal circumstances, I think that car drove better than I do. So
there's no question about it. I use the self-driving feature both to my house and to the office every day. And you know what I have the ability to do? I get to actually see what else is going on around. I'm not so focused on the road. I mean, I still see what's going on the road because, by the way, there's a little eyeball that's up kind of where you're
talk about the
rearview mirror, right above that. And that eyeball is looking into my face to make sure that I'm looking forward. If I'm down here on my phone doing this, the car beeps at me and says, heads up, start looking, don't look away. Keep your head up because they still want you to be supervising. But you see so much more. It's more engaging. It takes a little bit of pressure off.
And you're not turning around to look at something.
No, it's amazing. That, folks, I think falls under the category of financial advice in a language you can understand.
Most definitely.
Yeah, so as you well know, we do financial planning, investment management advice, and all these types of financial advice. If now is the time for you to get serious about your financial planning and investment management needs, I hope you'll give us a call. 978-531-8108, or you can visit us on the web, freedmanfinancial.com. That's Freedman.
Too easy to do.
Financial.com. Go to the bottom of any page, put in your name, your email address, and you will get our free weekly newsletter. That's going to do it for us this week, folks. We will see you again next week with more dollars and cents in financial advice in a language you can understand. Have a great day.
Enjoy.
Bye-bye.
During today's episode of Dollars and Cents with Freedman Financial, your host may have discussed specific financial planning and investment ideas that are for general information only and not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations. Please remember that investing involves risk and may include loss of principal. Always consult a certified financial planner professional, qualified attorney, or tax advisor prior to investing to determine what is appropriate for you. Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor, member FINRA, SIPC.